After years as a fugitive, David's loyalty and patience were finally rewarded. Saul continued to pursue David, but as the Philistine threat grew, Saul became increasingly distracted by battles on Israel's borders. In a tragic turn, Saul and his sons, including Jonathan, were killed in a fierce battle against the Philistines on Mount Gilboa. Hearing of Saul's death, David grieved deeply for both Saul and Jonathan, writing a lament that honored them. Despite the years of persecution he'd suffered, David's respect for Saul never wavered. With Saul's death, a power vacuum emerged in Israel. The people were divided between loyalty to the house of Saul and support for David. The tribe of Judah immediately recognized David as king, anointing him to rule over them in Hebron. But the rest of Israel followed Ishbosheth, one of Saul's surviving sons, under the influence of Abner, Saul's former military commander. A long civil war ensued between the house of Saul and the house of David, with both sides suffering heavy losses. During these years, David continued to grow as a leader. He ruled justly over Judah, and God blessed him, bringing him success in battle and growing his reputation as a wise and godly leader. David's patience and integrity won him many allies, including Abner, who eventually saw God's favor on David and sought peace. When Ishbosheth was later murdered by his own men, the remaining tribes of Israel recognized David as their rightful king. David was finally anointed king over all Israel at the age of 30, uniting the nation. He established his capital in Jerusalem, a neutral city that belonged to neither Judah nor the northern tribes, symbolizing unity among the people. Jerusalem would later be known as the City of David, and David built a palace there, solidifying his rule and establishing it as the political and spiritual center of Israel. As king, David's first priority was to bring the Ark of the Covenant, the sacred symbol of God's presence, to Jerusalem. This act demonstrated his desire to lead Israel in obedience to God and make worship central to the nation. David's commitment to God brought blessings upon Israel, and he soon achieved victories over the surrounding nations, expanding Israel's territory and securing peace. David's rise to the throne was marked by humility and faithfulness. He never sought to seize power by force, but waited for God's timing. His dedication to unity, justice, and worship brought prosperity to Israel, and he became a model of what a godly king should be. However, David's journey was not without trials and hard decisions, and he had to lead with wisdom to heal the nation after years of division. David's rule established a foundation for Israel's future, showing that true leadership requires patience, reliance on God, and a commitment to justice. His reign became a golden era for Israel, filled with military victories, economic growth, and spiritual renewal. Applications. Patience in God's timing. David's years of waiting remind us that God's timing is perfect. Instead of seizing control, David trusted that God would fulfill his promises, teaching us the importance of patience in our own lives. Unity over division. David worked tirelessly to unite the tribes of Israel. In our relationships, workplaces, and communities, we too should strive for unity and harmony, seeking common ground rather than division. Prioritizing worship. David's desire to bring the Ark to Jerusalem showed his commitment to God's presence at the heart of the nation. Prioritizing worship and reverence for God in our lives helps keep our focus on what truly matters. Leading with integrity. Even during times of division, David ruled with integrity and justice, gaining the people's trust. Leadership, whether in family, work, or community, should be marked by honesty, fairness, and humility. Honoring those before us. David mourned for Saul and Jonathan, showing respect even for those who had opposed him. Honoring those who have come before us, even when they may have been difficult, reflects maturity and a heart of peace.